Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Writing Samples. Today we have a special edition. We have the Chinese edition. In this episode, I will show you how the Chinese fountain pens write. Most of them you've seen on my channel reviews, but today you will have the opportunity to see them at work on one piece of paper. I will use mostly the same ink for all of them, the Parker Quick ink, and I will use the Pengram. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This sentence contains all the letters of the alphabet. I will start with the beautiful Lily 718 from 1978. You've seen its review. It has this interesting nib, this triumph shaped nib. It is an interesting nib, as all the Chinese fountain pens. We have the aromatic system, filling system from the Parker 51. It was copied from the Parker 51. I've already inked this fountain pen with the Parker Quick Ink, and now I will show you how it writes. So let's focus. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, and this is the Lily 718 from 1978. All of the Chinese fountain pens in my collection have a steel nib, so I won't write at every point, but I think this is an M nib. It's a medium nib. So I will say that all of them have the steel nibs. Okay, this was the first fountain pen, Lily 718 from 1978, with this interesting, beautiful integrated nib. The next fountain pen, it comes in this beautiful box, and it's a Wing Sung 235 model. Let's open the box. It's an original box. You can see that the box has the same pattern as on the gold fountain pen. This is the fountain pen. This is the beautiful, elegant fountain pen. This has also a steel nib, and the steel nib reminds us of the Scheffler Triumph nib from the 1950s. It also has the same aromatic filling mechanism as the Parker 51. I've already inked this fountain pen, and let's take a look how it writes. So we have the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This is the wing song 235 from 1971, and this has a fine nib. This was the writing sample with this triumph type nib. And here we have the next model. It is a modern Chinese fountain pen, a Baoer 388. It resembles with the Parker Sonnet, but it has some differences. The same push-on cap. This time we have opened nib with a Baoer on it. This isn't a gold nib, it's also a steel nib. Difference from the old vintage Chinese models is that this is equipped with an ink converter, an international ink converter, but it also holds international size cartridges. So let's see how this model writes. Let's focus. Okay. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So this was the Baoer 388, and this is a fine nib. Okay, the next model is also a modern model. This time we have the Jinhao 250. It is quite an elegant fountain pen. It also has a friction cap, and here you can see the nib, which is similar to that of the Baoer model, but on this we have written Jinhao. I hope you can, yes, you can see. Also a steel nib with some gold plating, I believe. And also this model has an ink converter. So, like a general rule, you will see that on the Chinese models from the 1980s and early 90s, we have the aromatic system, but in time they modified the filling system and made it so it could be used by cartridges or ink converters. Okay, let's see how this writes. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Okay, this is done with the Jinhao model 250, and I think it's also a fine or maybe a medium nib. So let's I think it's more a medium nib, but this is the result. So this was the beautiful Jinhao 250. The next one is a vintage model, a Hero. I hope you can see Hero 330 from the 1980s. This was a school pen of mine. I don't know if you remember the review of the 330, but the original gripping section, which was also this burgundy color, I replaced it with this green part that had the nib. I'll show you. Mm, I don't want to waste time. It is an aromatic system. It's already been filled and ready for the writing sample. Let's see now. I believe it spills. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I didn't clean it enough after the inkage. Let's see. Whoa, it spills again. This might be a problem. Let's see how it writes. The quick brown fox jumps, okay, over the lazy dog. So this is a hero model, Hero 330 from the 1980s, and this is a fine nib. Okay, let's leave this here, and the next model is this brother, this Hero 331, the next evolution in the 330 series. Also the same type of nib, also the aromatic system like the Parker 51. Let us see how it writes. The quick, also fine nib, brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This is the Hero 331, also from the 1980s, and also with a fine nib. Okay, a fine nib. Okay, this was the Hero 331. And if you remember our first fountain pen, it was the Lily 718. This model is the Lily 715-1 Lily. This particular fountain pen has another type of nib, also from the Lily. It is a hooded nib like the Parker 51, and it also has the aromatic system. And it is already inked and ready for the writing sample. So let's see the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This is the Lee 715-1 from the 1980s with a fine nib. You can see that some of these pens have a nicer ink flow than others. This was the Lily. Let's put this aside and we move on to the Howbag Modern 968 from the beginning of the 1990s. It is a metallic fountain pen. It has this hooded nib, steel nib, of course, and the aromatic filling system. I've already inked it and it's ready to write. Let's put the cap here. The maybe it's the angle, sorry. The quick this has some, so this has some small problems. It's quite not a good writer. The quick brown fox jumps okay over the lazy dog. This is the Haobang model 968. It also a fine nib. I don't like particularly how this writes. Not a scratchy nib, but it's something that I don't like in its performance. So this was the Haobang 968 from the beginning of the 1990s. The next one is quite special. It was an NOS model till I've done the review on this channel. It's of course in pristine condition because I didn't use it. You can see this beautiful like rose gold. It's not a plain gold like let's say in this one, in this Jinhao model. You can see the difference. This particular model, it's on the box, Youth 400. It is also a model from the 1980s. Screw-on cap, the same aromatic filling mechanism like we've seen on all the vintage Chinese fountain pens. And let's see how it writes. Okay. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This is a youth model 400 from the 1980s. It also has a fine nib, also a steel nib, a hooded nib. The difference between this and that model is that this model has a little bit of nicer ink flow than the Haobang model. This was the youth model NOS with the beautiful cap. I don't know how this cap will last in time, but when it's new, it's breathtaking. It's a beautiful cap. And we have another vintage fountain pen which I reviewed on my channel. This is a Herog G, which is, I believe, a model from the Herog company, because we also have on the cap Liz Hui. I hope you can see on the cap, yes, we have written Liz Hui, which is the town or from the Herog company. This is a model from the 1980s. very similar with other Chinese models, the same hooded nib and the same aromatic filling mechanism that I shown you. Let's see how this writes. The quick brown fox, okay, jumps over the lazy dog. I have to say that this nib is quite good. So it's a Hero G, also from the 1980s. A fine nib, a steel nib, but you can see with the juicy flow. So this was the Hero G model in this beautiful red plastic. Okay, now we will move on to another fountain pen that you'll see the review on my channel. Unfortunately for this fountain pen, I don't have the cap. It is also a metallic fountain pen, I believe also from the 1990s, like the Haobang model. This has this opened nib, a plain looking feed, and the classical aromatic system. And on the lever, we can see the name of the producer, because in the absence of the cap, I didn't have any identification on this particular model. Let's see how it writes. The quick, it has some problems. Let's, okay. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. You can see that it is a much more thicker line. This was the Kechao model from the 1990s, and I think it has a medium nib. It writes quite thick. Okay, this was the Chow from the 1990s. Let's leave this aside, and we'll reach our final fountain pen, which is also fountain pen from the 1990s, also a metallic fountain pen, also a friction cap with this steel nib. This time it's an open nib, not a hooded nib, and the classical aromatic filling mechanism. So this will be our last writing sample. Let's focus. Okay, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Definitely a broader nib and a juicy one in comparison with the others. So this is the Bainuo 666 model from 1990s, from the 1990s, and I think this is a B, a broad nib. So this was the last fountain pen. I want to show you how they're performed. You can see some different lines between them, and even different shading of the same ink. So I use the same ink for all of them. It is this Parker Quick ink. As you can see, depending on the nib and depending on the pen, we have some variations. So thank you for watching this video. As always, I wish you to have a nice day, and I hope you've enjoyed this part of the Chinese fountain pen industry. Have a nice day and see you at the next episode. Thank you.